everybody and welcome to another vlog with me. Today we are going to be discussing the derelict buildings that I've been to over the past 3 years. I'm going to basically be telling you what's happened since I've been to these buildings. Now if I don't mention one of the derelict buildings that I've been to in this vlog, it's probably because it's still there. However, I am going to mention the ones that have now been either demolished, pretty much boarded up so you can't go in them anymore, or the ones that, well, they just disappeared without a trace. Let's get started. So back in the February of 2019, I actually went to an abandoned care home in the town of Aylsham in Norfolk. It was called Eagle House and it was quite a big site. It was an absolutely amazing explore, probably the most creepiest explore I've ever actually done. I just found it really eerie inside. It was just full of solid corridors with rooms spouting off either side. All the lights were kind of like hanging off, or like, it was just full of creepiness, to be completely honest with you. Eagle House, actually later in that year they started demolition for Eagle House, and now on the site they are currently building a 22 plot housing estate and it's going to be called Eagle Gardens. So I think it's quite nice that they've kept the name Eagle. Obviously it's a shame they couldn't do anything with the old building, like revamp it, make it into a nice new nursing home, but they've kept the name so it kind of, the memories won't necessarily all fade, so it's still labelled Eagle. That was a really good explore and probably one of my best ones actually, to be fair, because of just how damn scary it was. Over all of the asylums I've been to, that care home was just something else. So the next location I'm going to be talking about is RAF Upward. RAF Upward I've visited on 2 different occasions now. I visited last year in, I think it was February, and then I visited the year before that, earlier on in the year, I can't remember when, but it was quite a while ago now. It's really sad actually because RAF Upwards contains so much history and they are wiping it out basically, and they are currently still in the process of demolishing it, but majority of it has gone now. The big water tower which I climbed has completely gone, like mad to think I was at the top of that like early last year, and now I've seen a picture of it literally crumbling down. They are planning 450 homes for the site. No idea what it's going to be called yet, no idea sort of the layout it's going to be, but it's meant to be some luxury homes going on the site, probably unaffordable housing basically. That's all I know, but yeah, another piece of history being flattened for houses. Next we have the famous or infamous St Crispins mental asylum in Northampton. Now St Crispins is a very well known urbexing spot. If you're an urbexer, you're bound to know St Crispins. This place has mostly all been demolished now except the clock tower, and there's a building nearer the front which is like the officey building. It's got like an Enquiries desk and that. These still currently remain. However, there are plans for the site, big plans for the site. There's a proposal for about 270 odd, 80 odd homes on the site, as well as underground car parks, which I thought was a little unusual. But maybe, I don't know whether they're going to be, because there is actually some underground rooms in St Crispins, so whether they're going to be digging out them, I don't know. The most interesting part is they are keeping the clock tower for definite. I believe it's listed as well. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's listed because it's fine architecture. They are making it into apartments, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know whether I'd want to live there. Because of the haunting history of the asylum, I probably wouldn't want to live there. But it is pretty cool what they're doing. It looks really state of the art. And I'm glad that they're actually doing something with it instead of knocking it down like RAF Upward. Because, you know, it's means it gets to live another day. It's being reused and I like that. It's too good a building to get rid of. It's haunting, but it needs to stay. It is part of Northampton. It definitely needs to stay. So next is another abandoned location that I felt really fortunate to be able to explore, and that was Hemsby Pontins. Hemsby Pontins was probably the place I spent the longest ever exploring because the site was absolutely huge. There was so much to see, there was so much to go inside. In fact, I don't think I even went inside every building, that was that big. The whole place is currently in the process of being redeveloped. A lot of the buildings have had to be demolished and destroyed. However, they are keeping a lot of the old chalet blocks and they are modernising them. So they're actually, yeah, keeping a lot of the old, like, chalets with the balconies on top, and they're going to apparently be like these low-cost homes. It's going to be a residential complex. There's even going to be a swimming area and a leisure bit in the middle. It's a bit strange because at the moment it almost sounds like a little residential village that has its own sort of swimming pool and facilities. Like, that's pretty cool, but I'm wondering if it's going to just turn into another holiday park, or like one of these parks where holiday homeowners can own like a chalet and then, you know, like for holiday homeowners only or something. I don't know what's going to happen with that one, but it does sound quite peculiar. I'm glad they're actually doing something a bit like what it was. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad they're not completely flattening it and doing nothing with it, or just putting housing on it. They actually seem to be doing like, it almost sounds like a leisure complex. We'll keep our eyes open for any more news. I was gutted this place was getting destroyed, but at the same time it was an eyesore, and there was so many arsons being, from little thugs setting fire to the place, and it was just causing havoc for the villagers of Hemsby and all. Well, it's a danger because, I mean, they were burning asbestos basically, so obviously that's not good, polluting the air. So it's probably for the best that Hemsby Pontins did get demolished, as sad as it was, and all those memories have now gone, but at least it's something that's hopefully going to be useful to people. So the next location I'd like to mention is in fact one I went to only last year. It was on one of my last videos actually, in Lincolnshire, RAF Stenigot. This place was the place where me and my friends went sledging down a satellite dish. Yes, that dish, the end of the last year, it's just been removed like overnight like that. So it's a really good job we went when we did, because otherwise we would never have seen it or had all that fun. That was a shock. I didn't expect that to go, to be honest, so soon. It's a shame because it is a piece of history, but I believe it's probably just been taken to scrap now, to be honest. Believe the old other buildings may still be there, but to be honest with you, they're not really that worthy of going to see. Not now the dish is gone. Another building we have that is also now completely gone, and it's actually been demolished in the last 2 weeks. It's a building called the White House. When I went to the Isle of Wight, yeah, not the White House in America, by the way. It was an old coaching inn. So basically it was like a pub, restaurant, hotel type place. And there weren't a lot, to be fair. When I actually went there, I didn't really document much about it because it was just so damaged. You couldn't tell what anything was. The only thing that was kind of intact was an old lamp on the, like, hanging, like, old-fashioned lamp above the stairway, and there was also like a few kitchen cabinets with a pan on top. That was literally it. Everything else was just smashed to pieces or burnt to pieces. Anyway, it sadly got demolished. I mean, it was a complete eyesore, but it got demolished. They're not planning on replacing it with anything because it's so close to the edge. It's literally been there years, abandoned. There'd be no point. It's just a shame. Obviously, it's another piece of history gone, but it had just been vacant for years. I wish I'd have kind of spoke about it a bit more on the video and maybe filmed a little bit more in depth for that one, but it was so damaged. I also didn't have my mask on me. My mask, which I like to protect against toxic chemicals, was just really rough and rugged in there, and you could barely hear me because the wind outside, it's literally right close to the cliff edge, and the wind outside was just howling away and you could barely hear me, but hey ho. It is what it is. And it weren't the main focus of my video actually. We just happened to go in there because it was literally next to where I wanted to go. And I thought, well, I might as well kill two birds with one stone and go to the White House as well as go to this adventure playground that is now defunct. So that's why I went there. These are just two locations that I have been to that I'm not going to tell anyone where it is because they are still there. And also, they are very, very precious and I do not want them to get into the wrong hands. So the first one is the Tots TV house. Now this video has been my most viewed video on YouTube and I'm very proud of that fact. Even though it's not even got that many compared to other people's, but I'm just so proud that it's got that many. So thank you for everyone who's watched that video. It's been stripped to pieces, like absolutely stripped. The blue stairs have been stolen. Or rumour has it the stairs have been stolen. It could have just been ripped out by the owners, but I've heard the stairs were stolen. But it wouldn't surprise me because the door got stolen, like obviously before I went. it weren't on my videos, sadly. I wish it was there. It would have looked a lot nicer and cuter and sweeter, but hey ho. No, it's completely stripped. There's literally just a shell of a building now. Half of the building's been knocked out. The donkey shed, I believe, has been knocked down. So it's literally just a shell. It is still there, but it's hardly worth it now. Which is a shame, because I really do feel sad about this one, because I think, you know what, that's a massive part of my childhood you've just, like, stripped. And they could have made like a little attraction. I mean, obviously not in the middle of like COVID, but they could have made like a little money-making attraction there, like come and see inside the old Tots TV house set. But what did they do then? They just left it to rot, because that's a really great idea. I'm not too happy about that one, but at least it still stands to fight another day. But I don't think its future's looking very good. It looks quite bleak. And then my last location that I went to, which, another one again, I can't say anything because this one is still there and the owners have suffered enough. They do not need any more people going to this one. And this is Scary Mary's house. It seems like after a few people went, including myself, there seemed to be like a tour bus of people come. I don't even know how, because no one was really giving out the locations, but I think people were getting them from people in like DMs. Well, they must have been getting into the wrong hands, because that portrait that made that house what it was has been stolen, and the owners were really upset about it. And I felt for them, because I thought, you know what, yeah, okay, they should have probably moved the stuff, they probably could have done something with it, but why should they have to? Like, people should just leave things as they are. You don't go into like your friend's house and steal something, do you? Why would you do it in an abandoned place just because it's abandoned? It belongs in the building, just leave it there. I just don't get it. Since my visit, which was last time in spring, it has completely been boarded up, which I think is for the best. No doubt some moron's going to rip the wood off to get in again, but it's been completely boarded, so don't bother going there. I've actually spoke to them and they said, you know, they told me all the details, they told me all the history about the building. They didn't even mind people visiting it, but it was the people who were just like recklessly moving things around, wrecking the place that they didn't like, and I completely agree with that. There's no need to move it, just leave your footprints, don't take anything else. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this video a little interesting. There's also been a few other places I've been that have suffered a lot of fires since and that, but they're still intact at the moment, luckily. I just thought it would be good to do a recap, because half of the buildings I've been to have actually been demolished, and if I haven't mentioned a building on here, then it probably hasn't been demolished yet, so that's why I haven't mentioned it, because I don't want to give any locations out of my favourite buildings. Just not because I don't trust my lovely viewers, but because there's some people out there who it will just get into the complete and utter wrong hands, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay, so I am going to click off now. I hope you have a fab rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!